But when you're setting boundaries with other people, it's important to know that when those people don't respect your boundaries, that is a signal for you to let go. For December 2023, you have to find what's important to you. Finding what's important to you and protecting that. Spirit has a plan. Trust that everything is going to unfold in divine timing. Armadillo spirits set healthy boundaries. So yeah, this also does have to do with setting boundaries, protecting what's important to you, and in that you're creating boundaries on what you're okay with, what you're not okay with. The thing about boundaries, when making boundaries that people forget in learning how to set healthy boundaries, is you start by setting boundaries with yourself in order to understand how it works when setting boundaries with other people. Because obviously setting boundaries with yourself, you're able to have more control, but when you're setting boundaries with other people, it's important to know that when those people don't respect your boundaries, that is a signal for you to let go. Just settle that these people are only going to show up a certain way and limit your interaction with them. So it could be setting boundaries in the sense, I'm only going to interact with you at this certain time or for these many minutes or hours, because you notice when you overextend your boundaries or your time with a certain person, they might abuse your presence. This is also letting spirit know, like, these are your limits, these are your boundaries, this is what you have. And then when setting an intention to bring something new, so then your spirit guides, whatever you believe in, then they can bring in what they can bring in, as they can bring it into your reality. So it's important to know where the outskirts of your reality is, what you're able to actually do. But it's also important when setting healthy boundaries to have an open mind in letting people come into your life, like having trust that when things come into your life, it's out of divine timing, that it's out of a plan, and that people actually might surprise you when you set healthy boundaries. Because I feel the fear of setting boundaries comes from, oh, this person isn't going to show up for me because I have to like limit the interaction, or I have all these rules. But boundaries aren't rules and regulations. They're simply what's important to you. That's all boundaries are. It's setting an intention and letting other people outside interacting in your world, letting them know how you're going to interact with them. And that way they know what to expect from you. That's all boundary work is. But spirit has a plan. So this is something you might be in a state of not knowing what's going to happen next, but it's letting go, trusting the universe, and simply knowing, reflecting on what's important to you and setting your boundaries. You can set boundaries with your spirit guides. Like when you're communicating with spirit guides, with any entity, you set boundaries on what you're okay with and what you're not, because it's literally communication. Even with spirits, you set boundaries. You set boundaries of who can come in to your energy when you're open to entity communication, and you set boundaries on what you're not okay with, and that's how you create that balance in your energy where you don't bring in the wrong energy. Because when we're too open, then we bring in any kind of energy. So boundaries help us to balance our own energy, to clear our own energy from things that are not good for us, that are not aligned with us, certain people, situations that are not aligned with us. And it's setting that boundary to the universe, to people, whatever. You're molding something in your life, overthinking, taking action. But this is like repetition of motion, where you're actually molding something that's actually supposed to be hard because it's metal. The smith, it's kind of like an illusion where they're able to mold something that's supposed to be hard, that's not supposed to be moldable, but with fire. So with your element and earth, because metal is connected to earth, and fire, you're able to, and with motion, and force, you're able to create shape in something that's supposed to be unmoldable, that's supposed to be hard, that's supposed to be stiff. Continuing to work on something, to mold something, persisting on a task. Delivering news, collaboration. So there might receive information, and in regards to collaboration and relationship, working with other people. But I see this as also like destiny, because we see and signal to our hands and how they can signify that it's another form of divination, having further knowledge about ourselves in our hands. And it's interesting, the hand and the smith, because the hand is the one that's making the motion, creating with our hands. So it's like you're molding with your hands. So I'm getting there's like craftsmanship going on, maybe like that Seven of Pentacles where you're continuously persisting on molding a task, or you're softening something that's very stiff and supposed to be inflexible, and you create a product of it that's useful, because the smith is about creating metal and items that are useful for us, such as swords, knives, tools, in order to use in the everyday. Your destiny is in your hands, and this goes with taking action. Like, your destiny is in your hands. Like, it doesn't matter what your hand says, what the lines signify, and it comes down to it, the action you take. And this also gives me like alchemy, kind of, where you're manipulating a certain element to be something else entirely. So this is giving me writing, storytelling, relationships, vulnerability. This is communication, and this goes with delivering news. It's the poet, but they're holding a pen. Others are often messengers of messages. This can also be writing down contracts, writing down your word. So written word equals contracts. So definitely pay attention to the collaboration you work with others and creating a contract between them, or creating some sort of written word of a bond you've made with a certain person. So in business, this is like binding the connection, like, oh, you're going to do this from this time to that time. So, and in retrospect, it's also in regards to boundaries in business, that's the boundary, the contract of like, so when you go out of bounds, it protects the person hiring as well as it protects the worker. Interesting. The forgotten. Missed opportunities, fear of failure. A softening of yourself. A softening of a part of yourself that's become very hard by life. And being more vulnerable, as we see with the poet. Poets are often depicted as the archetype of sensitivity, the dreamer, very much air energy. So it's like thoughts, messages. But I'm definitely seeing a contract in regards to delivering of news, a collaboration with others, and putting it down on paper. So that's definitely something to consider with December 2023, when you're given an opportunity to work with someone, to always put it down on paper, written word in regards to storytelling, poetry. So there might be a sense of, especially Spirit has a plan, it's pointing to trusting the universe, trusting that everything's going to come together. And then this time of being lost, of meandering, you're going to find your way back down to your center. There is a sense of there's going to be a missed opportunity, or you just have this sense of fear of failure. So definitely move through your fear by taking action, which can be done by simply just by working with your hands, centering yourself to your body, and getting out of your head, the mind. Even just writing down your thoughts, your fears, journaling can help you move through this energy in December 2023. You're being guided to find your soul path, to your north path, but the star energy also has a healing element where it's feeding the earth, and by feeding the earth, it's feeding the water, and it's a cycle. So that's why the star has a healing energy. So this might be a time of looking at your your life path, looking at how your lines connect, how your path has connected, where it has intervened. You are being led to Three of Pentacles, working with other people. And this can also be teaching, because with the Star, it is what you are led to do, your purpose, something meaningful. And collaboration with others, you're giving back to the community, because it's working with others in order to create a foundation. But it's also a masterful energy of where you could be the student or you could be the teacher teaching, but it's creating this foundation. Because when we look at the Three of Pentacles creates a triangle, and a triangle always has a foundation in order to create the elevation to a higher knowledge. So this is a choice that you have to make, or this can be a choice between two parties, a union. But traditionally, the Lovers is connected to a choice by divine guidance. So trust in the divine plan. Trust that Spirit has a plan for you. You need to listen to your intuition. Like, you need to plug yourself into your intuition. Especially with the Three of Pentacles and High Priestess, I'm seeing like there's some sort of elevation, enlightenment to gain knowledge, but not to gain knowledge from an outside source, because I'm seeing this as you are the teacher. You already have the knowledge. I'm going to clarify the Three of Pentacles because I'm curious where this is leading. You're in a point where you're seeking guidance from a higher guidance, from your higher self, from Spirit, from angels, whatever, from a higher power. But you have to remember that even when we are looking to Spirit, that Spirit has a plan. That doesn't mean that we are out of control, that we don't have a decision, because the thing about tarot is it shifts. It's all energy. It's interpreting energy, and the cards immediately shift once your energy, whenever you make any small changes, and whenever you make any small choices, whenever you make any small shifts, even in your beliefs in regards to knowledge and the way you think, your concept of self, it actually that's you shifting your reality in very small ways, but it makes a dramatic way in how the cards are brought up. The path that you're choosing. And I believe in the Bible there's a tree of knowledge and there's a tree of life. So I feel like you're making a choice of which tree. Three of Pentacles is Queen of Cups. Like, the Star is leading to a emotionally mature, listening to your emotions energy, and through tapping into your own intuitive emotions, feel that your intuition, your High Priestess energy, your intuitive sense with the High Priestess is actually connected to your emotions. Now in regards to the air energy, where it's through the mind or your crown chakra, so I feel like yours actually might be connected to feeling out your emotions and ability to manipulate through emotions, water, and healing yourself through water, healing others through water, and communicating with others through emotions. And in that, when you're able to tap into that wholeness of the Queen of Cups energy, you're able to get into celebration, which puts you in a state of like constraining yourself, which we get with boundary work of what's important to you, and setting those boundaries and confining on what's yours. By working with others, you're celebrating your feelings, and in that, people know what's yours. People know, because by working with others, you're being led in celebration to the Four of Pentacles, which is an extra added pentacle. So from a Three of Pentacles, collaboration with others, working with others to create a foundation, you're then getting to a point where you're able to get your own fundraising, or from that project of working with others, you're able to get your own pentacles from that project to receive your own financial substance from working with others. This is like an entrepreneur project where you work with others as like possibly a teacher or an architect, and you're able to get a little substance or supplement to your knowledge. This is something emotionally in regard. It could be that whoever you're working with, there's like an emotional connection with the Queen of Cups. But this can also be, since the Three of Pentacles turns to the Four of Pentacles. This is something like an emotional connection, and in completing it, the celebration, the opening of the foundation of something like a shop or a business, then it's led to the Four of Pentacles. So I feel this is something that's like emotionally enriching as a project, or you're involved in with a certain person that's like emotionally investing in you in regards to the Three of Pentacles. But the Three of Pentacles turning to the Four of Pentacles, I'm seeing this could also be an investment. Like you're not being paid per se, but like a portion of the proceeds, whatever they make, as the years progress, you get a certain amount from that.